All right, folks, buckle up, because today we're diving into a story so weird, so classified, and so absolutely unhinged that even the government eventually looked at it and said, yeah, maybe we should pretend this never happened. It's 1950. The Cold War is heating up faster than your aunt's microwave casserole. And Canada, yes, Canada, the nation we trusted to just make maple syrup and apologize, quietly launched one of the most mysterious aerial research programs in history. They called it Project Magnet. The mission, to study the Earth's magnetic field over the Atlantic. The real mission, well, that's where things get deliciously strange. Wilbert Brockhouse Smith, the man behind the whole operation, wasn't just chasing compass needles. No, no, no. This guy believed and wrote in government memos, mind you, that UFOs were using the Earth's magnetic field as a highway, and the government funded it. Ladies and gentlemen, your tax dollars at work. And hey, before we go any further, if you're new here, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell, because the evidence room is where the files they tried to bury come back to life. Now, let's get into it.
Now let's set the scene. Wilbert Smith was no backyard conspiracy theorist in a tinfoil hat, although honestly, given the era, a tinfoil hat might have been standard issue equipment. This man was a senior radio engineer for the Canadian Department of Transport. He had credentials, clearance, and a very serious government office in Shirley's Bay, Ottawa. In 1950, Smith penned a classified memo, later declassified because of course it was, in which he stated that flying saucers were, quote, the most highly classified subject in the United States government, rating higher than the H-bomb. Higher than the H-bomb. Now, I don't know about you, but if someone told me that the thing we were more worried about than a nuclear weapon was a spinning disc with blinking lights, I'd have some follow-up questions. Smith's team flew aircraft over the Atlantic, measuring magnetic anomalies, gravitational variances, and what they called areas of reduced binding in the atmosphere, which, translated from scientist speak, basically means spots where the laws of physics were taking a coffee break. If you finding this as mind-blowing as I am, drop a comment below. I read every single one. And share this video with a friend who loves a good government rabbit hole. By 1952, Project Magnet had its own dedicated observatory, a small wooden hut at Shirley's Bay that looked less like a top-secret research station and more like a place where someone stores garden tools. But inside was some of the most sophisticated magnetic detection equipment of the era. And then, on August 8, 1954, a date that Smith circled in red, I'm sure, the equipment went absolutely haywire. Every sensor in that little shed spiked simultaneously, a massive, unexplained magnetic disturbance. Smith ran outside, I imagine dramatically, lab coat flapping in the wind, looked up at the sky and saw clouds, just clouds. The object, whatever it was, had vanished into the overcast sky. The Canadian government's response? They shut down the official program almost immediately. Now, I'm not saying that's suspicious, but I am saying that if I ran outside, my fancy equipment exploded with readings, and then something disappeared into the clouds, I would have more questions, not fewer. The official report called the event inconclusive. Sure, inconclusive. Like calling Niagara Falls a bit damp. Smash that like button right now if you think inconclusive is the most suspicious word in government history. Go on, you know you want to. Here's where it gets really spicy. After the program was officially shuttered, Smith didn't stop. He kept investigating, privately, and began making some claims that would make even the most open-minded scientists choke on their coffee. He said he had made contact, not radio contact, not telephone contact, contact. He claimed that extraterrestrial beings had communicated with him and confirmed that yes, they were indeed using the Earth's magnetic field for propulsion and navigation. He even described receiving pieces of material from a UFO,
a sample he kept under lock and key and referred to as coming from outside the Earth's atmosphere. The Canadian government responded to all of this with the energy of someone who just discovered their most reliable employee has started a podcast. They quietly distanced themselves, declassified just enough to seem transparent, and hoped everyone would move on. Meanwhile, American intelligence, the CIA, the NSA, the whole alphabet, had reportedly been briefing Smith all along, feeding him information and using his independent research as a convenient, plausible deniability shield. Canada, officially innocent. Unofficially, a very useful friend. This is the part where I need you to share this video because your friends need to know about this story. Tag someone right now in the comments who would absolutely lose their mind over this story. So what do we make of Project Magnet? Here's the thing about true crime, and yes, I'd argue this is a crime against transparency. The most chilling part isn't the flying saucers or the magnetic anomalies or even the government shutdowns. It's the paper trail. Because everything Smith wrote, every memo, every report, every wild claim, it's all there in the declassified files. The man wasn't making it up. He genuinely believed it, documented it professionally, and was supported, at least for a while, by one of the most stable governments on the planet. Whether you believe UFOs were buzzing the Atlantic or not, the fact remains, in 1950, the Canadian government thought the question was serious enough to fund, staff, and classify. And that, my friends, is the real mystery. Not what was in the sky over Shirley's Bay on August 8, 1954, but why, the moment they might have found something, they turned off the lights and locked the door. As always, the evidence room stays open. If this video kept you up at night, good. That means you're paying attention. Don't forget to like this video, leave your theory in the comments, share it with someone who deserves to lose some sleep too. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you even doing? Hit that button. The next file is already waiting. Sleep well, if you can.